Welcome back to our episode of
Fem Forward.
I'm your host, Yaretsi Martinez, and with me I have
Emerald Tayez as co-host.
and our guest today is
Sheba. Hi guys.
So tell us more about your major. What really made you want to choose that major and what you plan to do in the future with that? I know you're still in the process of figuring that out, but
So my name is Sheba. I'm a freshman at Berry. My major is psychology and I'm specializing in child and adolescent development. And I'm doing a minor in sociology. In terms of career aspirations, I hope to be a psychologist, probably a clinical psychologist. Maybe, depending on where I live in the future, I guess. Hopefully I can prescribe medication. We'll see. And I hope to open private practice. So that's sort of my long-term goals.
this is the first student that we have from class of 2024 on our series. Woo!
So, how did you come to Young Wolves? Like, what was
How
your
did I
journey?
come?
Yes.
Like from the start? I was here from 6th grade. I came here because my mom was like, oh, this is such a great school, yada yada. And I was at, for whatever reason, I guess my mom, she just wanted me to come, like every mom, that's like everyone's backstory. My mom wanted me to come here, it's such a great school. And you're like, oh, I don't want to come here, but somehow you come. And that's how I got here.
And while you were a senior here, what is something that I guess you took advantage of?
Advantage of the environment here. I think when you're at a normal schools, like sometimes it's kind of like, the teachers don't know you as well, or like all these things. But we'd be having a good year. Like these people would be like, hey girl, like, yeah, hey queen, I have to do this. Like, and they're totally fine with it. So that's definitely what I would say I took most advantage of here. No, I took advantage of those internship periods. I did. I will say that I think a experience that was pretty unique for me was that I was always taking like more classes, like more than like the average person, which is not okay. But I had a lot of goals and aspirations in senior year. So I definitely would say that I was constantly like, I was always trying to do something. I was involved in something, taking a class, studying for a midterm or final. Like anyone who saw me, like I was always in the trenches. Like I was always taking notes on something, doing something.
You did get your AA while being here at the school, right?
Yeah.
What was that process like for you?
It was a long process. It was something that I hadn't necessarily like committed to it when I first started dual enrollment, but I did know I wanted to be ahead. I started dual enrollment back when quarantine hit, y'all. So
Wow.
if you're trying to get your A, you gotta start early. You really have to start
Motivated.
early. So I would say it was a long process. Like I said, I started a long time ago, so it took 4 years for me to get all those credits in, and also a very engaging and active process because you need to make sure you're on top of your stuff. Like I had a paper that I ended up talking about where you see that pathway, like the classes you need to take, like, is this what you're interested in? What major do you want to do? Like, there's a lot of things that go into, getting a degree. So, you want to make sure it's something that you're passionate about, something that, if I want to pursue higher education, like, is this something I'm going to continue doing?
So with your AA, I know, for example, like Duke and certain colleges and universities didn't take it. Like, how did you go through with processing your AA when it came to
I will say it's definitely something that you have to consider. When I was getting my degree, I just assumed that it would automatically transfer, and that's not the case. Y'all saw how I was going through that, like trying to decide, like, is this what I want to do? But like I said for the previous question, I spent a long time getting this degree, so I had to decide, like, was the school or like the university that I was looking forward to going to, like, was that truly the goal, or was it the hard work that I put in between that? So it's something I'm very proud of. Like, it's good. It looks good on those resumes. It looks good when you enter into your university. Like, honestly, having even credits in transferred in general has been like it's been an advantage for myself because it's gotten me into places. That's how I'm starting research now. there's prerequisites that you're supposed to take. So at Berry, for example, like you have to have those prerequisites in order to even conduct research. But the fact that I've done so many courses, you know, I had capstone. I know y'all hate AP capstone, but
AP capstone warriors.
yeah, like all those things, like those really, they look good, like, you know, and it makes you, just today we had our first meeting for Fact Lab, and it facilitates research. And like our mentor, the lady, like I had met her because I had a class with her last semester, and she was introducing myself to the other mentor that I have a class with. Just giving like a little background, and she was literally saying about how, you know, I've done a lot, that like I have like a plethora of different things on my my resume, like having all like those things matter. So I will say that it comes with advantages and I guess disadvantages in some ways. Like, I mean, I didn't go to my dream school, but like, you know, there's still higher education, there's still grad school, like there's a long way to go. So
Yeah,
you know,
well, I know that you were pretty involved here at the school. You were Key Club president. Were HIP president as well. How have those leadership positions molded you into the leader you have become at your current college?
I would definitely say being involved in high school definitely plays a role in how active you are in college. Last week we actually had something called Yo Bash, where you know, they introduce clubs, kind of like Club Fair here, but you know, at college. And you know, like you'll meet people who don't even know what SGA is or don't even know that these things exist. And I really think, you know, having an active extracurricular life during college really helps you in the future, because, you know, it's good to be active, especially when you're looking for a higher education. It's good to have those things that, you know, matter, those things that you're passionate about, because it shows, you know, it shows that you're involved, you know, like colleges want to see more than good grades, a high GPA. Like they want to see you're engaged, you're giving back to the community, you know, doing different things. So I will say, like, coming here, like definitely like being here, being very active, like that definitely helped me. Like that's why I even wanted to be an SGA when I came to college. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, take that step, you know, be a student leader. It's good that you guys are able to create clubs, and that same thing should go to college. Like you're able to create clubs. Like there's so many things you could do in college, like, and high school, like those habits, building those habits now are so essential for the future.
How easy was it for you to find your group of people and like really socializing in college? Because this is a very, very small school. For reference, our class size is 19. How does it feel going from a very small school to like a big college with a lot of people?
Yeah, it was definitely it was an adjustment. I pretty much, like, I mean, you guys heard about my first semester. Like it wasn't bad, but it was like I wasn't really vibing with anyone. Like the friends I came in with weren't the friends I ended with. Like, you know, it was just so many things that like it was hard to deal with, and I was going through my own like, what do I want to do in my life crisis. I will say, I think once this semester has started, like this past semester, I've had a way better outlook. I think last semester, I think it was just like a buildup of so many different things. Like I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. You know, I had friends that I thought were my friends that weren't. So it was like, it was a lot of things. I think that I kind of like, I made my semester look kind of dull, even though it was like, you know, the start of a lot of good things. And I've been at school for a week, and I feel like I've been there for a month. Like I'm never alone. I'm constantly doing something. Like y'all should see my calendar. Oh, now that's another thing, guys. When you go to college or high school, wherever you're going, have a planner. Have your to-do list app. Have a post-it note. Have something on your laptop. Use the calendar app. Like it is going to help you. Like. When you have those assignments, when you have those meetings to go through, you have different things to do, like having your days scheduled out is so important. It takes time. I think it depends on the person. For me, I just, you know, I was in my own world. I was trying to figure things out, and I put a lot of unnecessary stress on myself. But this semester, like I'm feeling a lot better. Like I'm doing great. Like I'm glad I'm here.
What's one thing that you're excited about for this semester to come? Because this is your second semester, right?
Yes. I'm super excited to do research. I'm thinking about doing something related to maybe like narcissism and like subjective well-being. Tend to be like, they seem perfectly fine, and they have very like high subjective well-being. Like, you know, like I like myself, I'm content where I am. Narcissistic isn't always like that quality isn't always great. And in terms of like someone who's narcissistic, they don't do well in like communicating with others or like problem solving, but yet they still have very high subjective well-being, which.
Can you mention your major again? Just like
My major?
It stumped me a little.
I'm a psychology major with a specialization in child and adolescent development.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, so I don't know how it is at every school, but at least for Barry, they have 3 different specializations that you could do. Child and adolescent development, IO, which is like industrial, and then forensic. So it's just basically like extra courses that you can take, like if you're looking into maybe, being a child therapist or being a behavioral therapist, like things like that. Like if you want to work with kids with autism, for example, like, taking those courses in developmental trajectory really helps out. Like I'm taking right now I'm taking child and adolescent psychopathology.
Because I remember when one of the judges came over, that you were talking to her about like wanting to do psychology but more like law based, and I kind of always wanted to do that too. So now that you mentioned that, because I like psychology, but I never said like, oh, I don't think I could do psychology because I want to be a lawyer at the end of the day.
Yeah, like the psychology is a very versatile career. Like there's so many different things you can do with it, and even for law, you can major in anything. I would definitely say having a psych background is good because, you really can get a feel of like what the mind is like, learning about the different processes, how people think, how people interact with others. So that's really good for law. Like because I actually used to want to do that too. Like I ended up falling into like maybe psych and law, and there are careers where you can, it's like maybe forensic law or things like that. You can do so many different things with psychology.
So I understand that you are a STEM scholar. Can you explain to us the eligibility criteria as well as how that application process was for Barry?
So the STEM Scholars Program, it's private, maybe a couple different colleges. I told you at sea that maybe like 37 or 38 different colleges, and basically it's literally like Questbridge, where it's like a full ride scholarship with a stipend where you can either depending on the school. For Barry it's $6,000, but you have a stipend where you can, travel with it, conduct research, go to summer programs, do internships. Like, there's a lot of different uses for the money. It's a good program. It definitely connects you to a very large network, and it helps you make those connections. Definitely, it's really good to meet people, shake those people's hands, like be like, hi, I'm so-and-so, because making those connections really, like, they help in the long run. Like, definitely do that. In terms of like the application process, it's not as tedious as Questbridge, I'll admit. It was more of like, having to write an essay and maybe like a couple other like supplements, and then you need a GPA requirement. You go through 2 rounds of interviews. You have the one at the institution, and then you have the larger one. So I definitely would say if you had experience with Posse or Questbridge, like it's a very similar experience. You apply through a college rather than the whole like thing. So I will say though, it depends on the college, because for example with stamps only goes through EA applicants. So if you or like maybe ED, I don't know, but so it depends. For Barry, there is no EA, so it's through regular decision.
How did you prepare for those interviews? I know they can be very nerve-wracking.
Actually, I did my interview inside where Monarch Studio A is. Actually, yeah. I will say I was a little bit nervous for it, but in my head I was like, nah, I got this. Like, I definitely think psych yourself out. Like, you'd be like, no, you're good, you're chilling. Like, and that definitely helped. I will say the people there, and at least for how my interview went, it was very chill. And my mom had already gone to Barry, so I already had like whatever I could talk about for it. So I was like, oh yeah, my mom was an alum, this and that. And they just asked different questions, they ask about you. I will say that, like, we all kind of get nervous, we have our little moments. We're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know how this person's going to react. You guys have definitely both gone through it, through your interview processes. And like, the people they're nice, like, the worst that they'll say is no. And that's totally okay, like, if one door closes, then another one will open, so, yeah, don't be too nervous, like, y'all got that.
Scholarship opportunities. Did you apply to any before senior year? Or did you just do all of them senior year?
Shama. 100% Shama.
Thank you, Michelle.
I think she'd be like, Sheba, I just sent you this scholarship, sign up for her right now. So, I would definitely say I'm thankful for Shama. Like, y'all have it so good. Like, I wish I could take her with me to college. Like, she's such a great person. She's so kind-hearted. She's a hard worker.
She really is.
When I started school, I was under the impression that I was probably going to go into like the med school route, and there was 2 people or like 3 people in my stamps cohort that actually had gone to the Dominican Republic and had they worked with the podiatry school, and they basically treated patients in the Dominican Republic. Their different like ailments in their feet or stuff like that. Like, I thought it was a really good idea, like, and that was actually something I wanted to do, and I don't think I need a passport for that. So I mean, I could do it anyways for the experience. Like, yeah, like, I definitely want to take advantage of study abroad. It's a really good way to, like, learn things, learn about different people, and all of that. So absolutely.
So extracurricular life.
Oh, how do you balance that? I definitely will say, set priorities. Like I said, use that to-do thing. Use your apps, please. Like, it's so much easier to keep track of things. Like, that's how I know I have a meeting at this time. I have to do this at this time. I have to go pick up this at this time. Like, it's a really good way to keep track of your time. Like, in terms of, like, I guess balancing extracurriculars and stuff, like, it's okay for you to tell, like, so-and-so or whoever is in charge, like, oh, I can't make it tonight because I have this to do or I have that to do. Like, prioritize yourself. Yourself comes first, and that was the biggest thing that I wanted to change when I came into college as opposed to high school. Because, I mean, you guys have experienced it where you, like, stay up late trying to study or, like, doing all these things. Like, sleep matters. You matters. Like, I'm not about to come to school anymore disheveled and, like, tired and all these things. You can make time tomorrow. Obviously don't, like, slack and be lazy and just waste all your time, obviously. But, like, it's really good to prioritize, like, your mental health, and don't get into that thing where you feel like you need to do so many things at one time and then you don't schedule your time properly and then you end up burning out, because that's the worst thing that can happen. Because at the end of the day, your teachers don't care if you burned out. Like, you still gotta do that paper though. It's very good. My biggest advice in terms of like work or school or extracurricular, like, having that balance is to prioritize your time. Prioritize yourself. You come first and everything else comes after that. Having to schedule your time so you're able to do this, or, setting goals, or even have an accountability partner. Have someone that you can text and be like, hey, like, I need to do this, and this for the day. It's very good to just have, whether if you don't want to have the app, or just have someone, like, to tell them, like, oh, I need to do these things. Can you make sure I get them done? Like.
So thank you so much, Sheba, for giving us your insights.
Thank you.
On
Glad to be here.
monarch life, as well as your life in college. She's growing up.
Life beyond the bell. That's what we're titling it.
Life beyond the bell. Thank you for watching another episode of
Fem Forward.
Please stay tuned for our following episodes, and make sure to follow that Instagram and listen to us on Spotify. Everything will be linked down below. Bye.